Hey guys, how are you? Welcome to Facebook Live. Glad you're here. It's a beautiful day. It's supposed to be pouring down rain in Southern California, but it's not. You know the job I want to get? I want to become a Southern California a weathercaster. You can be wrong 70% of the time, wear ugly suits, and still get paid a boatload of money. So anyway, that's what I'm thinking about doing when I retire. So tonight, Facebook Live, Black Sheep Harley-Davidsons for Christ. I don't think I said I'm Marty Edwards. And the reason why I'm introducing myself is because I've been inviting a lot of people that aren't a part of Black Sheep to come and check us out. We'll see if they're here or not a little bit later. But we have a special guest tonight, and I'm going to introduce him in just a second. But I want to give you guys some basic business type stuff for Black Sheep that you need to know about. It's important. California, we need you to register for ILS. It's in your own backyard. And our lowest percentage registration is with our California guys. So I want to ask you to get on it and register for this event if you're coming. We are filling up on everything, and I'm just afraid that some of my own neighbors are going to not get a motel room or not get a spot or whatever. And we're ordering food now for the Wednesday night thing and for the bike night. And so we kind of need to know how many people are going. So if you do that, we'd really appreciate it. Also, would you do me a favor? If you like our e-magazine, if you like Facebook Live, if you like what we're doing on Twitter or on Instagram, promote that for us, would you? I spent last night about 20 minutes talking on Twitter, back and forth, direct messaging, with a biker in Japan. Can you believe that? We were just talking about bikes, and then he asked, what is Black Sheep for Christ? And I explained to him who we are, and we had a good talk. And so this stuff that we're doing on social media is really going out to a lot of different places. And you can help us. Think about this. This is just me in the office, and I'm promoting it, and it's going out there. But if all of us were doing that, the people that we could reach with the ministry of Black Sheep and also, more importantly, the gospel of Jesus Christ. So if you like the stuff that we're doing, please forward it to somebody. If you don't know how to forward it, if you don't know how to share it, ask somebody, learn how to do it, get on purpose about this, and let's spread the word about what we're doing and what God is doing through us. Then the last thing, I want to thank you, our chapters for sending in their reports. This last week on Tuesday, we gathered for prayer, as we always do, praying for our Black Sheep around the country. And this time we had a stack of reports from our area contacts and from our chapters, and we must have had 20 or more prayer requests than we normally have, but they were specifically from you about something going on in your chapter, and that made prayer really interesting. And we feel like we're in the same room as you or the same chapter as you. And I usually text you if I can and tell you, hey, this is us praying for you right here and now. So thanks for the reports. Please give us the privilege of praying for you for our chapters, especially for our area contacts. We pray for you all the time, every week. You don't miss it. We pray for you by name. And we want to see God do great things through you. Then lastly, I think I already said lastly, Pastor, when the pastor says, in conclusion, only an optimist would reach for his keys, okay? So this is the last thing I'm going to say. Vicki wanted me to share this with you. We have a process by which we bring people into Black Sheep. There was a day when you just joined. And now there's a process. We don't call it a hang-around time, but there is a time that people kind of get used to us and look at us, and we look at them and just kind of see if this is the right place for them, and they're looking for the right place for them. And then we go through our mentorship process. But guys, we're getting it all mixed up. We're getting applications without word that they finished their mentorship. We're getting requests for patches when they haven't turned in their application. And the order's all messed up. So here's what I'm going to do. Very quickly, I'm going to give you the 12 steps to mentoring and patching new members. And you can write them down right now, but don't worry about it, because as soon as this is over and we hang up at about 6:45, you can replay it and you can write these things down. Okay, but I'm going to give them to you right now because I want you guys to get this in order. You say, well, aren't those in our bylaws? Yeah, but evidently someone's not reading their bylaws. So let me give them to you just really quick. Number one, what you want to do, number one is they observe you and you observe them. You don't meet them on Saturday morning and start mentorship on Saturday night. You want to give them a few weeks. Number two, you want to start meeting with your chapter board or your chapter president. If you're an area contact, you might want to call the national office. And you want to start talking about these people and telling everybody who they are and kind of getting used to they'll ask you questions and all of that. Number three, if you're in a chapter, you're a member, you can't just start mentoring somebody. Number three, you got to get your chapter president's permission to do that. If you're an area contact, I would really strongly encourage you to find a regional director or call me here at the office and let us help you get that process started. Number four, about halfway through the mentoring process, the application needs to be given to this person, and they can start filling it out and getting their references and so forth and so on. Then it's your job, that's number six, it's your job, whether you're the area contact or whether you are the chapter president, to call those references. We have found out that some of these references are not being called. And folks, let me just put it to you like this. We've had about 3 instances this last year where some people got into Black Sheep that should not have been in the Black Sheep. And if you called the references, you would have known it. So please call those references. We are protecting the name of this ministry. We are protecting the name of Christ and the church. And we're certainly also wanting to protect just the ministry against any liabilities. So please call your references. Number 7, when the applicant is now finished mentoring, they've gone through the 10 lessons. Now remember, they can get to lesson 2 or lesson 3 or lesson 5 or even lesson 9, and it's your job as a mentor to say, I don't think this is for you. We hope that you'll make that decision in the first 2 or 3 lessons so that you're not wasting their time and your time. You'll see a character flaw, or maybe you find out they're living with somebody they're not married to, or they don't have a church, or something that would disqualify them. Find those things out early. And then when you get to the 10th lesson, then what you need to do is you need to send us that. But here's the problem. We're getting applications that are not signed by the mentor. We're getting applications that are not signed by the president if it's a chapter. Sometimes the applicant themselves has not signed it. Sometimes they don't have a pastor's recommendation filled in. And as a result of that, we've started sending the applications back to you. So, then your person's discouraged because they didn't get their patch and everything. But we have a process. We're going to stick to it. I really want to encourage you to do it the right way, if you would, please. Then there's a new thing that I'm not going to take any time to talk about now except just to introduce it, and it's number 8, and that is the background check. At ILS this year in San Jose, we're going to spell out very clearly a new process for becoming a member of Black Sheep. That is that everybody coming in, not existing members, but all new members coming in, will be going through a background check. And that will increase their entry fee by about $50. So that would need to be done also before they are patched when the time comes. So if you've got people that are wanting to get patched before they get a background check, well, that kind of raises an eyebrow and some concern there if they're saying, hey, hurry up and get this in before May. But once we're done with ILS, because at ILS we're going to hand you a stack of new applications, and part of that process will be a background check that we've hired a company to do that. Again, like I said, without going into great detail, we had about 3 situations last year that could have been resolved if we had called our references and if we had done background checks. So help us with that, please. That's coming your way soon. Number 9, send the application and the fees to the national office for processing. That comes after you've got everything else done. Number 10, when the applicant is approved, the name patch and chapter patch are ordered from the embroiderer, and all the patches then will be sent to the chapter president as soon as we have them. It usually takes about a week to get them done. Please do not ask for them to be overnighted to you. You have to understand we're in a growth mode right now, and applications are coming in, and Vicky's got this well-oiled machine that's happening here in the office, and we're processing these applications as fast as we can. And then when somebody calls up and says, hey, by the way, we're having a patching this week, can you overnight these to us? No, we can't, because we're not in charge of getting those name things, name tags and stuff done. Someone else is doing them for us. So please just be diligent about the process. Number 11, then you patch your applicant. Pay particular attention when you're patching them to the pledge. They should have already gone through the pledge and mentorship, but you really want to look them in the eye, and don't read that pledge as some kind of a a sappy poem. You want to say, do you really believe this? Is this really what you're about? And make sure that they know the proper placement of their patches on their vest. That's number 12. You say, well, that's in the mentorship too. I know, and it's in the bylaws, both of which they were supposed to have read. And yet we show up to different places around the country and we say, that's not supposed to be like that. And they say, well, that's what I was told to do. So presidents and area contacts, when you're mentoring people, you're responsible. You're responsible for making sure that their vests are done the right way. Okay? So there's a little lesson. We're done with that. Thanks for coming. Okay, we got something else. I just got back from Pennsylvania, where we did the Northeast area training thing, and it was super. And what the guys did was they re-listened to those who were there and those that had not been at ILS last year. They listened to the tapes from our speaker, and it seemed like the theme of that event was that Black Sheep is at a place where we need to start to think about turning the corner. We need to realize that we're not here to shine boots, although we do that. We're not here to flip hamburgers, although we do that. We're here to make a dent in the works of the devil. We're here to direct people, to lead people, to point people to Jesus. And if we shine their boots or visit them in the hospital or perform their wedding ceremony or whatever, and we don't find some way to connect with explaining to them what we're really about and about the good news of Jesus Christ, then we're missing it. We're wasting our time. And for that reason, I've asked one of our guests from a previous time to come back because there's an extension to his story. I think you'll remember Zach Rosser from the Lake Elsinore chapter. Zach, come on up here. We're going to scoot over. We're going to make room. I hope the quality, look at it. See those, look at those. See the thumbs up? That means they like you. Oh, wait a minute. That's your mother. Oh, what is your mother on here for? Zach, how are you?
Did we patch her in?
No, we didn't patch your mother in. She didn't pass the background check. How are you?
I'm doing well. Yourself?
Good, good, good. So we were at the Lake Elsinore breakfast last week.
Sure.
And they put on a good breakfast, put on by the good food. And you got up and you told this story. And it kind of spurs off of your own testimony that you shared a while back, and we may touch on that a little bit. But tell these guys, look right up here, and tell these guys about that event that you and a bunch of Juventus guys went to.
Absolutely. Several weeks ago, we went up to the Dave Mann Chopper Fest in Ventura, and that was we were on mission. We went up there. We were there Saturday and Sunday. The actual event doesn't happen until Sunday, so. It was kind of cold driving up there and stuff, riding up there, and we just there was excitement, there was this thrill about being a part of that event and everything, and just hanging out with a bunch of like-minded people, Christians that are riding motorcycles that have a passion for Christ. When you get that fellowship together, there's just an energy that stirs in that group that is only explainable.
How many guys did we have up there?
We probably had upwards of 8 to 10, maybe.
Okay, that's a good size because you get too many Black Sheep in a booth, and all of a sudden it becomes about us.
Yeah.
But 8, that's nice. That's a group I can approach. You didn't shine boots this time, did you?
We did shine boots.
You did.
We did.
I thought these guys were the tennis shoe crowd, and so.
Well, yeah, there was a few boots that were shined, but the observation that I'd made that there's a lot of tennis shoes out there.
Yeah. Well, this was a younger crowd. The David Mann, which is ironic because he's dead and gone. I think he's the guy that did all these classic Harley Davidson paintings of the guy riding through the desert. He did the one where the guy's riding his Harley, but right in the shadow there's an Indian with his war pony, and he did all these classic things. And he died a long time ago. He was painting in the 60s and the 70s, and yet this event is a lot of young riders.
Yeah,
a lot of choppers and bobbers.
Yep, there was a wide variety of motorcycles there, as well as people, all age groups.
So did we do good? You feel like it was tell me.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that we had a presence there. We had some of the local chapter members come in, and they participated and helped out and stuff. And there was a lot of foot traffic, had a great spot for the booth and everything. So a lot of visibility. I know that, we passed out a lot of literature and, prayed for quite a few people.
Yeah.
Got people in there that we shined the boots on and, shared with what we could.
What kind of things did you pray for? Just no names.
Well, what people request, if they had something on their heart, or children come up a lot,
You get that a lot,
family members. So, we didn't refrain from praying for whatever they asked
Sure,
for. We
sure.
just want to glorify and honor God in that aspect.
Now, the night before, as I remember the story from Saturday, you guys were hanging out at the motel,
Yes, sir.
and somebody got hungry.
I wouldn't know who that was.
Tell us what happened. Something happened where some of you guys had a chance to go someplace, but I think it was just you and somebody else.
Yeah, we were at the hotel. It was probably about 6 p.m., 7 p.m. And, I was ready for dinner. We had eaten lunch way earlier that day. Well, it was way earlier for me, but so, I had found that there was a Chick-fil-A within about 5 to 7 miles from where we were and everything. And, you can't go wrong with Chick-fil-A. So, I was trying to entice the rest of the group to get up and go. And it was cold up there in Ventura, and not everyone was interested in getting up and riding over to Chick-fil-A.
There were some wimps in the crowd.
There was a few. I'm not going to say no names. But, with the excitement, with that fellowship, we were having a time of just some fellowship sharing, some devotional. A devotional was read, and, we actually had opportunity to pray for a woman who had lost her husband a year earlier. She was there remembering or celebrating the anniversary.
At Chick-fil-A.
No, this was at the hotel.
At the hotel.
So we were able to, get her involved, and she got really emotional. Her daughter got emotional. We laid hands on her, prayed for her and stuff, and that was the catalyst to what transpired after that. And that was, I had mentioned that there would be a divine appointment at Chick-fil-A.
You're all fired up from praying for the lady.
Absolutely.
So if we're going to go to Chick-fil-A, you're thinking something's going to happen.
Yeah, even the event, the Chopper Fest event, being up there for the weekend, they're around my brothers and, like-minded believers.
So you all jumped on your bikes and rode down there?
No.
How many of you went?
Just 2 of us.
Okay, just 2 of you. Let's give credit to that guy.
Yeah,
Who was it?
It was Art.
Art.
Bernardo.
Bernardo.
Art B.
Artie B. Artie B, brother. Love you.
He's recently patched into the Elsinore chapter. So,
okay. So you guys rode down there?
Yeah, he volunteered to go to Chick-fil-A with me, and we went to Chick-fil-A, and we were eating, and a gentleman walks in with a backpack over his shoulder and heads straight for the bathroom. Okay. And instantly, I felt the spirit, the stern in me, to the point where I got up and I'm heading to the bathroom, wondering what I'm going to say to this cat in the bathroom.
I did that once. I got beat up.
Yeah. Good news is God had a different plan. I didn't need to say anything in the bathroom. God just wanted me to observe. And when I walked into the bathroom, the door was shut, and I heard the guy wrestling around in his backpack. And it just brought me back to where I was at one time. Coming from a 15-year meth addiction. And
well, how did you know that's what he was doing?
Well, the commotion, the sounds, familiarity, like it just something I picked up on.
The urgency to go from the front door straight to the bathroom.
Yeah, and you'll see in the guy beeline straight to the bathroom. I'm like, he's not here to eat. He's here to do that fix or whatever it was.
Okay. Okay.
And so, I stayed in the bathroom just for a little bit of time. Then I walked out and I sat down with Art and I said, hey, let's eat this real quick, and then let's go wait outside the front door because this guy isn't here to eat. He's not here to purchase anything. He's going to come out of the bathroom and go straight to the exit. And so,
wait now. So what's going on in your gut? You know he's going to come out. You sit there talking. Art was Art down for this?
Oh yeah, Art's.
What do you feel
Art
on
was
the
on
inside?
board. There was definitely some emotion. Some warmth. You get goosebumps. And,
yeah.
That was kind of overtaken. It's like I know this feeling isn't normal. I've been to Chick-fil-A before and eaten chicken here, and this isn't the feeling it gives me.
What was it?
It was the Spirit. I'm quite confident that it was the Holy Spirit telling me, nudging me, love on this dude. love on him. You know,
I-
I'm getting just
I know
that feeling now. You know,
Look up
just-
close, guys. Just big goosebumps right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got up and went outside?
Yeah, we went outside, and sure enough, his name was Paul. He came out of the bathroom and went straight for the exit. And as he exiting, I'm there at the corner, and my first words were, "Hey, brother." You know, he stops and looks, and you know, me and Art are there, and you know, I don't think Art nor myself are very pretty, so I can understand. You know, he was taken back a little bit about these two men approaching him and everything. But
What did he look like?
I
mean, was he kind of a homelessy guy, or was he?
well, you know,
was he an older guy? What?
he was probably mid-20s,
Young
late
guy.
20s, young guy, slender, you know, tall, probably about 6'2".
Did he look destitute in any way?
Well, he was thin, you know, definitely thin.
Okay.
You know, and you know, I don't know if the average person is gonna like look at him and be like, "Hey, this guy is an addict," or "This guy's doing drugs in the bathroom."
Yeah.
You know, but fortunately, you know, the testimony I have, the background that I was a part of, there's a connection that I make with that people group for the most part.
If you don't mind, give our viewers a 60-second. If you can go back and look at Zach's testimony, but give him a 60-second to catch him up. So why you were so in tune with this?
Well, I had a 15-year meth addiction that no one knew about, except the people I did the meth with and my drug dealer. My wife, who I've been married for 25 years now, she didn't know about it. You know, I was a professional liar, and the catalyst of my addiction brought me to the point where I almost killed my wife. Literally seconds more of me choking her, covering up her mouth, she probably would have died. Fortunately, something happened, and I just stopped, and she got up and left the house, took the kids, and I had to go to jail. And her brother, which was like my little brother for a long time, came to the jailhouse and told me that he loved me and that Jesus loved me and there was a plan for my life. And, you know, that was a catalyst for me to put in the effort to say, hey, let me give this a shot. Let me give this Jesus character a shot. And that's what Jesus was to me at the time, was a character. But he became so real in my life that I surrendered 100%. I said, I'm done.
So I don't want to put any words in your mouth, but did you see some of you in this kid?
Absolutely. You know, absolutely. You know, because I've also had a backpack and run straight to the bathroom and come out and go right to the exit. You know, do my little fix, do the smoke in the glass pipe, or whatever it was. You know, that I've been in those same exact shoes. I've walked that same exact path. So there was a relation there that I had. And, you know, after talking to him for a few minutes, you know, he tried to put up a front and this and that. I'm like, well, you know, here, I'll tell you what just transpired. And he's looking at me like, how do you know this? And I said, listen, the playing field's level. I said, I'm a sinner, just like you. Sinner saved by grace. You have the same opportunity. And just sharing with him, like, I've been down this path. You know, I've been into the jailhouse that you just talked about. I've been in that bathroom doing dope. You know, so we're in the same boat. And he's looking at me and Art like, you know, what's in this for you guys? And I'm like, there's absolutely, we have nothing to gain except to let you know that there's freedom in Christ over this addiction. There's an eternity that you can spend with a Father that loves you unconditionally. And we just continued to share. We prayed for him. And
tell me about his receptivity, or was he rolling his eyes, or was he fixated on what you're saying?
He was definitely attentive. You know, as we progressed, we probably spent about 30 minutes with him. And wow, as we progressed, he you know, started dropping the barriers, and you know, wasn't putting on a facade or anything. You know, I think some realness came out of him. And you know, when we talked about the reality between, you know, a life with Christ and a life without Christ, you know, it's appealing. You know, Romans 1:16, for I'm not ashamed of the gospel. You know, that's like,
I've read that.
You know, what has transpired in our life as, you know, we've received freedom in Christ. Right. We've received victory in Christ. Not for us to hold on to it.
So was there anything hungry in him for that?
What the hunger was, he was kind of astonished that two men, grown men, would stop and devote time.
And he didn't look like Mormon missionaries.
Not at all.
And he was intrigued by that.
Absolutely.
Was he intrigued by your message?
Absolutely. He,
Okay.
as we continue to talk about Christ, Art shared a little bit of his testimony. I shared some of mine, and we talked about where we were and where we're at now. And he perked up a little, and was more intrigued. And when we told him that, you don't, because he was under the impression he had to get right before this would even be an opportunity or a possibility.
Everybody has that feeling.
Yeah.
And it's wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
Come to Jesus just as you are. You don't have to do
Amen.
anything else.
And so that's what we were saying. So, no, it's not like that. And I said, well, here's where I was when I surrendered 100% to Christ. There wasn't anything right about me. I had neglected my kids, my wife, almost killed my wife, taken advantage of my family. And I just cried out to Christ and surrendered 100%. And he showed up mightily in my life. So we were able to share that with him and, prayed with him. And, we all got a little emotional. There might have been a few tears out of Art's eyes, not mine.
You're a tough fighter.
Yeah. I'd never have tears, but for real though, we had some emotional stuff going there. And I carry black sheep cards, and I recommend that everyone does it. Just like you talked about the boot shine and various other things, these are openers for us to share.
They're going to say, oh, look, they're seeing it right. I mean, the old camera, it shows up backwards. So what is that, the sinner's prayer?
Yes, sir, the sinner's prayer.
Okay. All right.
So this is an opener, just like the boot shine is, just like our bikes are openers. And what we do is we take that opener, and once we get in, it's open. And so what we did is, we prayed with them. I gave him my card. We actually said the sinner's prayer with him. He professed his faith right there. And fortunately, there was a Calvary Ranch, Calvary Chapel, a few blocks away. Okay? And I gave him the card. I said, hey, this was a Saturday night. I said, tomorrow's Sunday. Go to this Calvary Chapel. Give him this card. Tell him that this guy and another guy prayed for you, prayed with you. Flip it over. Show him the prayer that you prayed. And tell him you need help. I said, if you don't get that help, you've got my number. Call me. I live 2.5 hours from here, but I will do what I can to get you some help.
Sure.
And, there's a fortunate and there's an unfortunate ending to this, is that I haven't heard from him. But I have faith that the seed process is still doing its cycle.
Sure.
And I'm not responsible for that cycle. I'm just a player in the game that gets to invest in the cycle.
What would you have done? I mean, maybe it's happened to you before, and it's happened to me before. What if you had followed him outside and he had just blown up, cussed you off, flipped you off, get away from me, Jesus freak? Has that ever happened to you?
Yes.
That's not planned. I didn't, so what would you do in a situation like that? What's it feel like?
Well, I get a little giggly and laughing and smiling and
Giggles.
And
new road name here. Giggles.
And I tell them, I had this incident happen at the Rodland one time, and I caught up with this guy, and after he had kind of given the bird and the F you and this and that and everything, and I went up to him. I said, of all people, you should believe in Jesus because he just saved your life. And I'm not saying that's the best reaction to have.
That's the reaction you had.
Yeah, that's the reaction I had.
Okay.
Like Jesus performs miracles because he just saved your life. At the least, he saved your teeth. So, praise God that he transformed my life, because when I had my addiction, it would have been crazy.
Yeah.
But now, he's like, love my people. And even those that do that, they need to be loved on.
You know what really touched me about hearing your story on Saturday, and the reason why I asked that to be here tonight is what I started with when I told you that going all the way back to ILS last year, when the speaker spoke to us, and he was challenging us to get outside of ourselves and to be more than boot shiners. Remember, and he told that story about which is really very similar. Here you are in Ventura to reach people for Christ. And here's a guy, it hasn't begun yet, so we're not on the clock. Maybe we want to party tonight with our buddies and have a good time and hang out by the pool. Maybe you want to get to bed early because you had a long ride there. But the Bible says that we're supposed to be prepared in season and out of season. In other words, when you're ready and when you're not ready. So he's listening to the Spirit. You guys are praying for that lady and her daughter at the motel. Ministry's already begun. So you go to get something to eat, nothing wrong with that, right? And then this guy walks in, and the hairs on the back of his neck stick up, and he knows what to do. And, there's a reason why God directed that guy to walk into that restaurant at that time and have Zach there and not me there, because I wouldn't have recognized it as anybody but somebody who would go to the bathroom really bad, right? But he saw you. Then Zach he's prepared emotionally, he's prepared spiritually. May not have been the most comfortable thing in the world, but you got up and you went outside. He had in his back pocket a tool. You don't have to use that tool. You can have the tool that works for you, and you share the gospel with him. And Zach, I'm comfortable too with you did your part, and nobody loves that guy more than Jesus. And you could be number 1 or number 12 in his stepping stones to come to Christ. But that's what I'm talking about. That black sheep, it says in Acts chapter 2 that the Lord was adding to their number, the church, adding to their number daily, not transfers from other churches. He was adding to their number daily those who were being saved. And my heart, my passion, my vision right now for this ministry is that we make some kind of a downshift, and get more torque, and now take all this experience that we have in serving. The speaker at ILS said, you black sheep, you really got the service thing down. You're the first ones to set up, you're the last ones to tear down. You'll sit out there in 110 degrees and shine boots. He says, but you got to finish it. You got to finish it. He says, we're not shining boots to send people to hell with shiny boots. We're shining boots for the opportunity to talk with them. And if the only thing we do is get done and say, is there anything I can pray with you about today? I got to tell you, our experience is, we've got parents that are older, we got kids that are younger, we got friends that are going through divorce, people need jobs, people are sick, every other person seems to have cancer. When you ask somebody, is there anything we can pray for you about, there's almost always something they want to pray about.
99% of the time, there's going to be something. And all we have to do is open our mouth and just have that greeting. Hi, how are you? Hey, brother. Hey, bud. Whatever it is. Yeah. The culture that we're in right now, there's so many people that are chained to their darkness, chained to their sin right now, that when someone opens their mouth and says something to them, it shocks them out of that initial, hey, I'm shackled, but my eyes are open and they want to hear, they want to listen. Our culture is starving for that.
So thank you for getting, and thank our brother for getting up out of your chair, doing the uncomfortable thing, following this guy outside and sharing him. What would have happened if your brother-in-law had not come to you at the prison or the jail? What do you think?
I would still be shackled in my sin. I would be in bondage to that addiction. My priority, I was a slave to dope. And had he not stepped outside of the comfort zone of the church, and embraced me and said he loved me, that Jesus loved me, even though I almost killed his sister, I would still be that lost soul.
Yeah, but somebody else might have come along, right?
Dude, look at the odds. I would say that, that church that my wife was a part of, she was serving in the worship team and stuff, 95% of that congregation probably wanted nothing to do with me and wouldn't have stepped out and did something. But fortunately, he did.
Being a little facetious here and asking you those questions, but tell me your brother-in-law's name again.
Pastor Ray.
Pastor Ray, that's right. And he pastors in
Oceanside.
Oceanside. And he comes to a breakfast that Zach is a part of called No Men Left Behind. And I make it about once a month for that breakfast. And I've been there twice when Zach has told his story about his brother-in-law, Ray, coming and reaching out to him. And the first time I looked at you, because you were telling the story for the first time. The second time I watched your brother-in-law, and he beamed. It's like we're not taking credit. All glory goes to God. But it's like he just hit a home run, baby. And he's hearing the story again, and he was ear to ear. his sister's husband, he sees a whole different guy here. And it's not about taking credit and receiving the glory for yourself. It's about celebrating.
Absolutely.
And I would watch Ray, and Ray he just beamed when you tell that story.
I don't blame him. You know that we call it the ripple effect, because his stance on loving others has impacted life after life after life. You know, and it's just that ripple effect that lives are continue to be impacted. You know, so you know, what better feeling is there?
Yeah.
You know, like I heard Johnny Rowlett talk just a couple weeks ago about there's a hose.
Great country singer, Johnny Roulette.
Rowlett.
Is it Rowlett?
Rowlett. ROWLETT.
Yeah, check him out
on Facebook. Follow him. But he talked about how there's a hose coming down from God just for us, and we kink the hose because we get in the way. We stop our feet moving from God's kingdom, and the hose becomes kinked, and we might see a blessing trickle out here and there. But if we were to unkink that hose and just keep our feet walking for God's kingdom, that hose is just going to pull on us. You know, in this guy that me and Art were blessed by just as much as he was. You know, that was just a blessing for us that, you know, we slowed down, we talked to him, and we related to him. We know where he was at, and it's like, hey, we're on a level playing field, and you are right where you need to be to fall at the feet of Jesus. So, you know, the feet moving for the kingdom, and just hold on for the blessings.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to challenge you to keep your eyes open, your spiritual eyes open. When you go to an event, when you go to church, when you're walking around the neighborhood, when you're going to a restaurant, keep your eyes open. Maybe the Holy Spirit is wanting to show you something. You were at the hotel, and the expectation of these two guys was, God has a divine appointment for us.
Amen.
How many of us, when we get ready to go to a bike event, you know, we're thinking about the bike. Is the bike clean? Is the bike gassed up? How do I look? You know, all of that. How many of us go to an event, or even just go down to the dealership for a cup of coffee to hang out with some people, have the expectation, God, go with me. Go with me today. Give me a divine appointment. Let me meet somebody, like the guy with the backpack. Let me meet somebody that I can connect with. And I don't know what to say, and I'm kind of shaky. I'm kind of scared. I'm kind of nervous, but I got this 10 things every biker needs to know before he dies, or I got this sinner's prayer. I'm going to put this in my pocket, Lord, in faith that maybe that'll happen. Amen. Or maybe I'll just pray for somebody. Or maybe, you know, at least I'll just be kind to somebody. But going with that expectation that you have. I want to close by asking Zach to pray for us. I want to ask that he would pray for us as a ministry. And when I say I don't just mean that I want. I mean, this is something you can ask my wife that we've been praying about for a while, and you can ask her on Tuesday morning. We've been praying about this for every Tuesday. Is Lord of the harvest, send us workers for sure, but the fields are white in the harvest. There are millions of bikers who are great people who need Jesus. God, use us. If we're scared, make us courageous. If we're not prepared, make us prepared. Do whatever you got to do in us that we can see those being added to our ministry that are being saved, to our churches that are being saved. Would you pray that prayer? Would you lead us in prayer?
Absolutely. Father God, we want to thank you for the day, Lord. First and foremost, we give you thanks for rolling us out of bed this morning, Lord, allowing us to see your purpose in our lives, Lord, or our purpose in our lives, Lord. We thank you for the patience that you give us to be a true blessing at every path that we cross. I pray that we would take advantage of that patience that you offer, Lord, and that we would boldly embrace our culture, the lost, Lord. Boldly embrace someone who we normally wouldn't talk to, Lord, but someone that we can love on and just share life with, Lord. We ask that you would fill us with compassion, not only for the lost in our local community, Lord, but for this nation. Wherever we travel, wherever those bikes take us, Lord, put people in our life that we have compassion for to pour into, Lord. And lastly, Lord, we would ask that you would loose us. Just let us go, Lord. Let us have full reins of loving on others, Lord. Your word says how beautiful are the feet that bring the good news, Lord. Embolden us, Lord. Give us courage, and just nudge us with your spirit, Lord, to love on people, no matter what the occasion or the scenario is, Lord. No matter what event we're at, Lord, help us to take advantage of those opportunities that you put before us to be the feet of your kingdom. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Zach. I'm grateful for Ray going and visiting you because now you're in Black Sheep.
Amen.
And you're my brother.
Amen.
I'm excited to have you. Guys, thanks for tuning in. We're trying something different tonight. We're using a big tabletop computer, which for some reason we've never been able to use. And it looks a little bit jumpy from this end. I won't know until I get a chance to review it. So next week, if this doesn't work out for you super well, we'll go back to a smaller screen. But thanks for watching. Share this with somebody. Get the word out there. Spread that eMag around. The eMag always has the gospel in it. We don't send that thing out without some testimony or some scripture or some story that talks about the greatness of God. But until then, we'll see you next week. God bless you. Bye.